Hi, good day. I'm Crystal Jean Lucero, and for today, let's talk about the software web-based mapping and forecasting of infectious diseases. First, let's proceed to the background of the study. So, the background of the study covers the motivation. On motivation, we have online transaction, and under is fast connection and end user adaptability. Due to the situation today, online transaction is booming. Most transactions are done online, whether it is for paying bills, inquiry, and etc. Connecting to someone will be faster due to the use of internet. Therefore, being updated on a certain topic will be simpler. And because the people is used to the transactions online, they are more likely to be familiar with using a software. It will be easier for them to use a software because of their past experience. So, the current situation. So, the human population is threatened by the emerging of infectious diseases caused by viruses, bacteria, fungi, and parasites. Almost every year, new infectious disease occurs for the reason of increase in population, traveling, aging, urbanization, and climate changes that favors emergence, evolution, and spread of new pathogens. As of now, the world is suffering from the global pandemic caused by the novel coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, that has been declared a public health emergency of international concern by the World Health Organization. So now let's proceed to the problem. So it is composed of almost every year new infectious disease occurs, well-known municipality and widespread. So well-known municipality is it really a problem? At some point in medical platforms, yes, because of the unique characteristic of infectious disease. So the municipality of Bansud is well known for its bright plaza and colorful fiesta basudani. People from different municipalities gathers to enjoy its embrace, and gatherings can cause a widespread of infectious diseases. The transmission of infectious disease can be via infected person or animal, and even through exposing on a contaminated object. Simple exposure to an infectious agent can be risky for an individual for the reason of it being the source of the infection by just simply being exposed to it. That can be possibly cause the widespread of infectious disease. And if that happens, lots of community problems will occur, whether it is on the supply and demand of the community or anything else. So the next slide is the solution. The solution is the web-based mapping and forecasting of infectious disease for Bansud, Oriental, Mindoro. It is composed of reliable forecast towards infectious disease, location representation of infected barangays, basic information supply towards safe handling of an infected person, and tips and guidelines on infection prevention. So, what will be the solution for the problem? So, the project software will produce a reliable forecast towards infectious diseases. Therefore, medical officers will be aware and equipped to the possible disease that might occur at the municipality of Bansud. The location of infected barangays will also be presented to make the citizens be aware of the highest rate of infected barangays. So, basic informations towards safe handling of infected person will be provided to serve as a tool for displaying awareness that is great key for safe handling of an infected person. So, now let's proceed to the objectives of the study. So, the general objective of the project software is to design and develop a software that will forecast infectious diseases and provide a visual map that will serve as a guide for the people to determine the specific location where the highest rate of infection is. So, these are the specific objectives of the project software. It includes to provide reliable forecast towards infectious diseases that will strike at the municipality of Bansud, to display the visual representation of the location of infected barangays, to post an article that highlights health awareness, to supply basic information towards safe handling of an infected person, and to give tips and guidelines on how to prevent the infection. So, the scope, delimitation, and limitation of the project software. The scope covers the medical health officer or MHO, citizens of Bansud, common infectious diseases, and end-user data. So, the scope of the project includes the medical health officer or MHO. So, MHO will serve as the admin of the system and are capable of performing software inspections, and other than that, modifying the software data is inapplicable. So, citizens of Bansud. Citizens of Bansud has the privilege to view factual and useful information on the system. Common infectious diseases will be the coverage of the forecasting. So, end-user data. The database will contain records of each personnel's identity, consisting columns with their name, age, gender, birthday, birthplace, address, mobile number, nationality, email address, report, and a portion for their soft copy ID picture for login and security purposes. So, the delimitation of the project are map range, Civil Registry Office, Bansud Health Centers. So, map range. Map range only covers the municipality of Bansud. And the Civil Registry Office and Bansud Health Centers will serve as the information backbone of the project. All the necessary data will be asked to them to make sure that the forecasting is accurate. And the limitation will be the location range. The system limits the target location at the municipality of Bansud due to limited data resources and risk on face-to-face interactions while requesting for required data. And now, let's proceed to the conceptual framework of the project. So, this slide represents the conceptual diagram. So, it is the representation concept of the project software that is composed with variables that are required for the development. The system is focusing on forecasting and mapping of infectious diseases. Diseases is composed with lethality and origin is having the climate, temperature, and season. On the other hand, prone area, rate, and number of infected person is under the location.
For the continuation of the discussion, I am Judith F. Vergara, reporting the Chapter 2. Good day, everyone. In this chapter, it presents the review of related literatures, studies, and systems, as well as the synthesis and research project, which the RRL provides factual, existing, and new ideas to support the variables and function of the study. Wherein, in every related articles, journals, books, the researchers include them in the study. These are the relevant literatures and studies where the researchers used. They are categorized depending on the function used in the system, which are the prediction of infectious diseases, the use of Google Map API, mapping, forecasting, and the use of Weka for data mining. The first one is Barman R. et al. 2019, entitled Identification of Infectious Disease Associated Host Genes Using Machine Learning Techniques, BMC Bioinformatics. Ang L. et al. 2020, a review of multi-compartment infectious disease models, International Statistical Review. William L. et al. 2017, Lessons from a Decade for Individual-Based Model for Infectious Disease Transmission, a Systematic Review, BMC Infectious Diseases. Santos B. et al. 2019, Data Mining and Machine Learning Techniques Applied to Public Health Problems, a Bibliometric Analysis from 2009 to 2018, Computers and Industrial Engineering. Jiang D. et al. 2018, Mapping the Transmission Risk of Zika Virus Using Machine Learning Models, Acta Tropica Elsevier. Kumar N. and Katri S. 2017, Implementing Weka for Medical Data Classification and Early Disease Prediction. Shang Q. et al. 2017, Forecasting Seasonal Influenza Using Digital Indicators and Mechanistic Disease Model. Proceedings of the 26th International Conference on World Wide Web. The next one is the related system. They are Choi J. et al. 2016, Web-Based Infectious Disease Surveillance Systems and Public Health Perspectives, a Systematic Review, BMC Public Health. Moran K. et al. 2016, Epidemic Forecasting is Messier than Weather Forecasting, the Role of Human Behavior and Internet Data Streams in Epidemic Forecast, the Journal of Infectious Diseases.
Hey everyone, my name is Joshua Jipuras, and now I will discuss the development method of the system. The development method is the use of methodology used by the researcher to develop system software. The Agile method. The Agile method is composed of brainstorming, design, development, query assurance, and deployment. The first is brainstorming. Brainstorming is the first of Agile for searching requirement and analysis and gathering information. The second is design. The phase of Agile that covers design, document, and prototype. The third is development. The phase of iteration, demo, and feedback construction, iteration are organized. And the query assurance. The most crucial part of Agile is one of the models of outsourcing, acquiring database required the manufacture or organize. The last is deployment. The deployment is necessitate a true planning preparation process order for a product. And this is a requirement specification. This following our requirement is needed to meet to access system to run. The functional requirement. The functional requirement is required is the feature of the system that will provide forecasting and mapping function. The web-based user authentication, forecasting, and mapping. The web-based is the system will through web server unlike other any computer-based. User authentication. The system will require the registered account of the user. The forecasting. The forecasting is the system will predict infectious disease depending on the data provided. And mapping. Mapping is the system can track the direction of the street diseases.
The user interface which presented on the study, the researchers created a prototype of the main system, interface, and functions. As shown on the UI, there are 5 navigations above. They are the home page, which preventive measures or tips to lessen the cases caused by infectious diseases are presented. The next one is the login page for registration of the end users, such as BHW, MHO, BNS, and Citizen, for them to access the system. Forecast page for forecasting of the predicted diseases with the help of data mining tool, which is Waikato Environment for Knowledge Analysis, or WECA. And the next one is the report page for displaying the list of barangay that have cases, the prone areas mostly, and also the infectious diseases on the certain area are shown on this page. And lastly is about page, which the user can see the programmer's profile, information, and system vision, mission, and goals, the information about the system, and how could it be able to access through online platform.
The hardware interface of the system. This is a following hardware interface is a component of specification required to use computer desktop, Wi-Fi router. The first is computer desktop. Computer desktop is necessary for the user to access website through a web browser. This is a specification. The processor is Core i5 and the memory is 8 GB RAM and the storage of 500 GB internal storage. And then the Wi-Fi router is the necessary to connect to the internet. The specification is LAN 1x1, LAN by 4 for RJ45, and the antenna for 2.4 GHz. Software interface. The software interface is a type of device that required enable a system. The first is a Google Map API, Windows 10, SAMP, Notepad++, and the browser. The Google Maps is a feature-rich mapping platform developed by the Google. The Windows 10 is installed of a computer desktop used in the development. SAMP. SAMP stands for a platform, Apache, MySQL. It allows you to create a WordPress. And the Notepad++ is to be used at development, the front and back end of the system. The browser. The browser will use to access the website. And this is a security requirement of the system. The security encryption is a requirement. The user will register first by typing username and password to enable to access the system. And the technical hardware specification. The hardware specification requires the following features below to run the system. The first is computer desktop and Wi-Fi router. The computer desktop is a high-end computer is needed in the development since the proposed and the system will be developed with a machine. The Wi-Fi router is since the system will need it to connect the internet. The background is the following are the hardware and software that is needed to develop to run the system. The software specification. This is a following our software specification is required to use to development and run the system. This is a operating system and browser Google. The operating system installed operating system desktop used in the development, and the browser is since the system web-based process is needed to test the output.
The testing and evaluation is the plan to conduct to be able to make the system more functional and error-free. These are, under the testing and evaluation, the usability, the quality or state of being, how can the system be usable for the users. The functional suitability refers to the functions used to contribute to the development or maintenance, and how possibly the system is applicable on the certain area of the scope of this study. The next one is the performance efficiency. It is the ability of the system in providing efficient help to the user. And lastly is the security, which is important in every system to have and prevents it from malicious agenda or any malware and viruses. The implementation plan of the system will be conducted after the development of the project software, so the system will be able to provide the needed information. Lastly, the budgetary requirement. As of now, there is no exact total budget for the whole system, but as one of the software components of the system, the Google Map API is ranging to 5,000 pesos. That's all. Thank you. And for that, may God be blessed and praised.